Alright, so with the raid over, it's about time we rate how much people helped the Alliance. Obvious manga spoilers throughout the entire video. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. I'm just kidding, I don't have a sponsor. Who do you think I am? Let's just get right into it. Starting off with Yamato. Now Yamato was a great help. If Yamato didn't hold off Kaido for the time where Luffy was just straight up in water, defeated, the raid would have failed. So if the raid would have failed without them, that's an automatic S. Next we got Momonosuke. Now the Alliance wouldn't even exist without Momonosuke. It wouldn't exist without Momonosuke, it wouldn't exist without Kinemon. And the raid is not going to succeed without an Alliance. So the two of them, they belong in S tier as well. Now we got Marco. Now Marco did a great deal to help out the Alliance. He held off King and Queen for a decent amount of time, did some damage on both of them. On top of that, he healed everyone on the live floor while the Ice Oni virus was going around. And he saved Nami from a Boro breath. For that, you gotta put B tier. Gotta put B tier. Now, Big Mom was on the other side. However, she defeated Page 1. And that helped out the Alliance a decent amount. But, so like normally for defeating a Tobiropo member, I would put B tier. However, she was an enemy and she did a great deal to affect us as well. So, Big Mom belongs in C tier. Now we got Inurashi. Inurashi, you know, up on the rooftop going Sulong, you know, he went ape shit. On top of that, he went Sulong against Jack. That was a great moment too. Great, so satisfying seeing him defeat Jack. And for defeating a top commander, you gotta go A tier. However, Nekomamushi, you know, once again, he went ape shit on the rooftop with Sulong, and he defeated Perospero. He was getting revenge. You know, revenge for Pedro, who... Revenge for what? What did Perospero do? Perospero was the victim. Pedro invaded, you know, Perospero's mom's territory, intended to kill Perospero's mom. You know, he was a part of a plan that was trying to assassinate Perospero's mom, and all Perospero did was defend his mom and defend his home. Don't you dare say you wouldn't do the same. But yeah, back to Nekomamushi. For that, you know, B tier. Now we got Ashura Doji. Rest in peace, of course. Now, Ashura Doji, with his sacrifice, he saved just about every single scabbard, and that's incredibly important. That did a lot for the raid. So honestly, yeah, I'm gonna go B tier. Very high B tier though. Probably the highest you could possibly put someone in B tier. Now we got Jimbei. Jimbei defeated Who's Who. That's a pretty big deal. That automatically would put you in B tier. However, he did more on top of that. He straight up waterbended when Raizo brought out the water from Zunisha, and that saved just about every single person on the island. That's a pretty big deal, and it's deserving of A tier. Kawamatsu, on the other hand, while he did do a decent amount on the rooftop and everything, River of Retribution, you know, I'll give him his props for that. However, he's a fishman, and he didn't do shit with the water. Honestly, if I were Jimbei, I would be pissed off at Kawamatsu. I would go up to him at the party and be like, yo, where were you at? What the fuck did you do? I was out waterbending, I was out saving people's lives. Where were you? So like normally I would put Kawamatsu in B tier, but he's dropping down to C tier for not doing shit with the water. Now Izo, another person, rest in peace, you know, but Izo's death wasn't like Ashura Doji's death in the sense that it saved everyone. You know, yeah, Izo took out a CP0 agent. That's, you know, that saved Nico Robin. You could say that, but maybe not, honestly. But yeah, I don't really think I could really rate Izo that high for his sacrifice. I love Izo, but you know, I'll put B tier. I'll go B tier though. But like, not the same level of B tier as Ashura Doji. Not even close. You know, there's levels to this shit. Now Kiku was honestly dead weight for most of the arc. You know, she lost her arm. You know, all she really did was fight Kanjuro, where she didn't even win. So how could I rate Kiku that high? Honestly, like, Kiku's going in C tier along with Kawamatsu. Now Queen, obviously, he was an enemy. However, due to him just deciding to, you know, attack his own subordinates, just being a straight up fucking psychopath, that allowed us to get a bunch of pleasures and waiters on our side. I believe it was like, you know, 2,000 to 4,000 that switched sides because of Queen being a fucking psychopath. So you really got to give credit where it's due. He helped us out a pretty decent amount. That's C tier. That's C tier. Would be B tier, but he also did a lot to hurt us. Now Chopper did a lot. He did a lot. You know, he bitch slapped Queen. You know, both figuratively and literally. He bitch slapped him figuratively by just creating a counter virus, just erasing everything that he did, erasing basically Queen's life's work. And then he bitch slapped him literally, which was incredibly satisfying. Gotta go B tier for that, definitely. Honestly, nah, A tier. A tier. Now Raizo, as I was talking about before, you know, he saved just about every single person on the island with his quick thinking. Back in Zoe, he saw the water, he was like, this could probably be helpful. And it was very helpful. Very helpful. On top of that, he set back one of Kaido's Boro breaths on the rooftop. He belongs in A tier. He definitely belongs in A tier. Now Robin defeated Black Maria, saving Sanji. It's a pretty big deal. Definitely B tier. Actually, honestly, you could argue A tier because Sanji did a decent amount, and by saving Sanji, she allowed Sanji to do a decent amount, but I'm still gonna put B tier. Very high B tier. Very similar to Ashura Doji, like the highest of B tier you could give someone. Now Brook didn't get a one-on-one fight in the arc. He was basically playing support for Robin the entire time, and he was great support. He made sure that Robin had a fair fight by taking on just about everyone around Black Maria, which is a pretty big deal. Pretty big deal allowing Robin to do that. So really high C tier. Really high C tier. Hyogoro. Now, Hyogoro did a decent amount during the raid. You know, he took out just about every single one of Orochi's top samurai. Like, he no diff them, negative diff if that's even a thing. He did that to them. And on top of that, he taught Luffy Rio, which if Luffy didn't learn Rio, he wouldn't have been able to learn Advanced Conquerors. And if Luffy didn't know Advanced Conquerors, he wouldn't have done shit to Kaido. So it's a pretty big deal. You gotta put Hyogoro in A tier for that. Now we got just all the Yakuza. They really didn't do shit. They really didn't do shit. They all belong in F tier. They look cool, they act cool, but all they were just glorified fodder, I guess. And I wouldn't go that far. But basically, yeah, they were glorified fodder. Now we got the CP0 guy, and yeah, he wasn't on our side, but he wasn't on the enemy side either. He was his own faction. And while he did interfere with the fight between Luffy and Kaido, if he didn't do that, who knows what would have happened? Like, because of him, Luffy unlocked Gear 5. So honestly, Christopher, he's going up in A tier, definitely. Oh, now we got my main man, Franky, the sexiest man alive, man. Those nipple beams. Pause. Okay, resume. Now, yeah, Franky defeated Sasuke, and that's really all he did throughout the arc. Pretty awesome. Defeating Sasuke definitely goes B tier for that. High B tier, mid to high B tier. Mid to high B tier. Denjiro did a decent amount. You know, he killed Orochi. Now, while Orochi wasn't really a threat, it also did save Hiyori's life. On top of that, he added a decent amount of troops, and his last second appearance helped us out a great deal. For Denjiro, yeah, Denjiro's going to be B tier. You know, once again, a pretty high B tier. Mid to high B tier for him. Now, we got some of the Minks here. The Minks, I'm going to put them all in D tier. You know, they did a decent amount on the rooftop. You know, they were just fighting against Kaido's soldiers and everything like that. except for now Wanda and Carrot, they didn't go up onto the rooftop. They basically just fought Perospero for a bit and lost because Perospero's like that, you know. So yeah, D tier for them, but much lower D tier. Much lower D tier than the other Minks. Now we got Killer. You know, Killer went up to the rooftop with the other Supernovas. Out of the Supernovas, he probably did the least. You know, he had the Sonic Cypher, which, you know, it injured him a little bit and everything like that. But you can't really rate him that high for that. But then again, he also defeated Hawkins. Straight up no-diffed him. And by defeating Hawkins, he just released an intense weight that was on the back of Eustace Kid. And because he defeated Hawkins, he allowed for Kid to be able to defeat Big Mom, along with Law, of course. So you gotta go A tier for him. Definitely gotta go A tier. But Heat and Wire, what did they do? We saw them on panel a couple of times, but what did they do? They didn't do shit. They belong in F tier right with the Yakuza. And now Beppo. I thought he would have gone up on the rooftop along with the rest of the Minks, you know, because back in Zoe, he was talking about, oh, Zoe is my homeland. I'm going to fight along with the Minks and everything like that. Back, you know, against Jack and all that shit. But where was he on the rooftop? He wasn't there. What did he do? What did he do down on the live floor? Nothing. He didn't do shit. Same goes for Shachi. Same goes for Penguin. They belong in F tier right along with you know, Heat and Wire and the Yakuza. But John Bart, a member of Law's crew, he actually did a lot more to help the Alliance than those three, because he stayed in the submarine, he saved Luffy from the water, and then revived him, healed him a little bit. It's a pretty big deal. He helped him out a decent amount. I'd probably put him I'll put him D tier. Now Caribou, he's going up above John Bart into C tier because while he was also there, he gave Luffy a month's worth of food. A month's worth of food. We know what food does to Luffy. We know what food does to Luffy. It's a pretty big deal there. And you know, it allowed Luffy to regain his strength. That definitely helped a great deal. And on top of that, he could be the next member of the Straw Hats. You never know. Now, Kid and Law, they defeated Big Mom. You know, we don't even need to talk about what they did on the rooftop. You know, they defeated Big Mom. It's a pretty big deal right there. S tier for sure. Now we got the Pleasures, the Gifters, and the Waiters. You know, the Pleasures and the Waiters, I'll put them in D tier. You know, because while, you know, they did just about as much as the people in F tier, them changing sides helped turn the tides of the war. Now the Gifters, they also are going into D tier, but a much, much higher D tier. Because when they switched sides, it turned the tides way more. Now Scratchman and Pooh, he was never on our side, of course. He really didn't do anything to help or hurt us. But he did release all the information about what happened on Onigashima to the rest of the world, which you could say that hurts us a bit. It probably did hurt us a bit, but I'm glad he did it because he did it, there were bounty raises. So I would put him in F tier, but he's going in D tier because we wouldn't get bounty raises without him. Now we got Zoro. Zoro's going into S tier. I mean, you know, scarred Kaido. He blocked the Conquest of the Sea, which saved the Supernova, and he went on to defeat King after being healed up. Definitely belongs in S tier. Now Sanji, you know, he definitely belongs in A tier. He defeated Queen. You know, defeating a top commander of Kaido's a, you know, very, very big threat throughout the arc. Definitely got to give him A tier. Shinobu. Now Shinobu was around. You know, she was around. Protected Momonosuke for most, if not all, the war. But aside from that, didn't really do that much. But for protecting Momonosuke, I'll give C tier to Shinobu. Now Tama definitely belongs in S tier. You know, Tama turned the tides of the war. On top of that, Tama gave Luffy inspiration for the fight. You know, Because before it was just about, oh, I'm gonna take down Kaido because, like, you know, I got you, Momonosuke. But this was about food because of Tama. Because of Tama, this war was about food. And when Luffy's fighting for food, he's fighting at his best. Definitely S tier. Now Nami, you know, Nami defeated Ulti, you know, gained Zeus, and basically protected Tama throughout the arc, which that's a pretty big deal because, you know, you protected the person that did a lot for the Alliance, and without protecting Tama, the gifters would have gone right back to Kaido's side. So I'm gonna go B tier. I'm gonna go B tier. Usopp, though, he really couldn't do anything throughout the arc. He couldn't injure the ancient zones. Yeah, he was protecting Tama along with Nami, but not as well as Nami, of course. So, but honestly, like, I hate to put my god up in D tier, down in D tier, I mean, but yeah, he's D tier. And now we got X Drake. He didn't really do that much to help us besides, you know, switch sides. Yeah, that's really it. He switched sides. I'll put him in D tier for that, you know. He protected Chopper while Chopper was creating the medicine. Yeah, you know, for that, I'll move him up to C tier. I'll give him credit where it's due. And now lastly, we got Luffy. Luffy obviously belongs in S tier. He defeated Kaido. Plain and simple, he defeated Kaido. S tier. The highest of S tier you could possibly give someone, that goes to Luffy. Honestly, I'm gonna create a new tier. I'm creating a new tier, and it's just gonna be called Luffy. It's just gonna be Luffy tier, and yeah, he's above all the other S tiers. Well, now the rest of these people down here, they were enemies. They didn't do anything to help us out. All they did was try and hurt us, which they couldn't do enough because guess what? They got fucking swept. Yeah, Straw Hats in 4. Straw Hats in 4. Anyways, if you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, and follow me on TikTok, even though you most likely came from there.